Hi guys, it's that time again, which is better, and it will be a Gatecreeper special. So if you're into death metal, old school death metal that is, or just curious, then this video is definitely for you. And oh yeah, regarding the background, please excuse the background, it's laundry day. But putting that aside, the two albums we're going to be looking at are Sonoran Deprivation and Deserted. Let's get into this. So looking at Sonoran Deprivation, the song Craving Flesh was actually released before the album and it was mind-blowing. This album didn't disappoint either. It's full of huge bone-crushing riffs that make it impossible to not break your neck while headbanging along. 90s Stockholm death metal influence is quite clear. From the very first notes in the opening riff of Craving Flesh, it's obvious that Gatecreeper was massively influenced by the likes of Entombed, Dismember, Carnage. In an interview, Gatecreeper referenced Dismember's album Massive Killing Capacity as one of their biggest influences. It's more noticeable. It's impossible to hate the Swedish vibes that they give off. For early Swedish death metal albums, such as Like an Ever-Flowing Stream and Left Hand Path, are even some of my all-time favourites. Besides that, I can even hear a bolt thrower influence in their sound. Now, what they do is they take those influences to another level, create some of the heaviest riffs imaginable. I also notice a modern grind influence in some of the more chaotic songs that they do. Ironically, overall slower pace of the music seems to be influenced by doom metal, and I've got time for doom metal as well. I also think the purpose of Gatecreeper's music is to create skull-crushing riffs, which are unbearably heavy, and they've pretty much accomplished that. The whole album appears to come together perfectly. The instruments are perfect in sync. Another thing that should be mentioned about the instruments is how tight the guitar sound is. For a band that plays slow and low, the guitars never sound sloppy or lazy. The drumming is equally tight, and the drummer doesn't display anything here that comes across extra special or out of the ordinary. All band members just do their job perfectly for the music. The vocals fit in equally well, and again, reminiscent of that 90s Stockholm scene or grind such as Brutal Truth. Whilst nearly impossible to pick up any lyrics from it, they fit perfectly with the overall hostility of the music. What is also noticeable is the desert theme present in the music. Now, Gatekeeper come from the state of Arizona in the United States of America, and it's hard to not to hate the desert imagery on the album cover. The songs also have a way of portraying a sense of intense desert heat, which you gotta admire. Gatekeeper's monstrally heavy riffs will draw you in, beat the hell out of you, and leave you begging for more. Here's we're gonna look at Deserted. This is an album which shows the band tweaking and evolving their sound, improving their songwriting, and adding more interesting details to the original formula of their riffy death metals, and also kind of referencing back to the album Sonoran Deprivation. This album does is build upon the extremely solid foundation laid by the preceding album, and without losing what made Gatekeeper appealing to be with in the first place. The title track of the album is a slow mid-pace crusher that gives us a taste of what you're going to expect throughout the album, and some new elements have been introduced to their tried and tested formula. The song actually had some leads and also solo and things that were originally seen on their EP Source for Madness. It is then followed by the song Punching Wounds and a more straightforward cut reminiscent of what we saw on the debut, proving that they haven't forgotten how to write punishing death metal riffs. Two are then followed by probably the two noticeable tracks on the album, From the Ashes and Ruthless, the former of which has some excellent riff work with a breakdown around their halfway point that slowly builds up with a lead to a fantastic melodic riff that still maintains headbanging capabilities, while the latter opens up with a bass break. It moves at a faster pace than most of the tracks on the album, and the closing song, Absence of Light, is noteworthy because of its doom-influenced riffs and solemn tone, which is a perfect way to end the album. While the album is very consistent all around, it's not perfect, as there are a couple of tracks that aren't all interesting, such as Barbaric Pleasures and Smoldering Madness, and the latter being taken from the EP of the same name. Both of these cuts don't really do anything interesting and feel like they're just sticking to a rather formulaic structure, and they should have either been cut out of the album or replaced by tracks such as Master of Power, the other track from the EP, or the digital only available track Anxiety. Lyrically, the tracks have quite a bit of variety, ranging from Isolation and Decay, Deserted, to more influenced lyrics typical of death metal, Puncture Wounds, Ruthless and Sweltering Madness, and Despair and Suicide, Absence of Light. Even some of the eldritch horror, Chase Mason does an exceptional job with his delivery all across the board, taking a new approach to his vocals by adding a bit of hardcore bark to his previously unintelligible grunting, which is enjoyable, although it might not be for everybody. Production-wise, the album has some differences in comparison to the preceding album, mostly the guitars, which are reminiscent of Entombed. The drums are pummeling and clear without anything sounding overwhelming in the mix, and the bass actually has a place in the mix, and now it can actually be heard. While it doesn't do much of note for the part it does add to the desolate and heavy feel of the album. Overall, Deserted is an album that shows us a band that is growing and maturing and owning and improving their craft as they progress as musicians, and showing us that they've quite a bit to prove to their followers and even detractors by not resting on their laurels with their first success, but instead opting to try something new with their music. So there you have it, guys. Let me know what you think was a better album in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.